Hi, welcome to Baxter Yoga. I'm here at the Oakland Yoga Studio today. Please come check out the studio the next time you're in town. And don't forget, you can now order my book, Yoga for Healthy Aging, co-written with Nina Zolotov, as well as the button for ordering t-shirts from my website, which is listed on your screen right now. Today I'm very excited to share with you an alternative variation of plank or high plank pose that's done with a chair. Because you're going to be higher up away from the ground, the amount of effort required to keep the body in its alignment in terms of the shoulders, belly, and legs is going to be a little bit easier than when you do the pose on the floor. So please take a look back if you're not familiar with the pose done close to the earth and see what I'm talking about in terms of the alignment and the positioning. The chair gives you a little lift, makes it a little bit easier, a little less pressure on the wrists, and can be a nice transitional pose as you're working towards the full posture. At home, I would want you to have your chair against a wall so that the chair cannot move on you when you bring your weight to play. So we're going to have a chair. I've got mine on the sticky mat to make sure it stays put. And basically, we're going to come into it as we do in the pose that's done close to the ground, starting from a down dog variation and then swinging forward into the high plank or the plank position. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at that. So standing close to the chair, maybe a foot or so back of the chair, go ahead and bend the knees and hinge the hips as you would for a fig leaf forward fold, and bring your hands near the ends of the chair. You want to make sure you're not falling off the edge of the chair, but the hand is fairly firm on the right and left side. And then as you walk back, go ahead and take your hips and push them back towards the wall behind you as you would for down dog. Now I'm keeping my legs a little bit bent, but you could straighten the legs depending on your flexibility. And then on an inhale, you're going to swing the shoulders forward until you feel like they're positioned pretty much right over the wrists. You could be a little forward or back or over the wrist, but I would be careful about going forward the wrist because then the wrists are going to become unhappy. The other thing is you can look down the front of your body to get a sense of whether the hips are sticking way back or the belly and hips are sagging way forward. So you want to try and have as neat a line as possible, and then firm the legs as if you had a block between the legs, firm the elbows, and lift the breastbone up away from the chair seat a little bit. Now I usually stay for about 6 breaths, maybe 8 breaths initially. It's about 30 seconds or so. You can certainly work your way up to longer holds, and we've certainly been there by now. So on an exhale, let's go ahead and swing back for a moment. Feet can walk back a little bit if necessary. And then walking forward with bent knees and coming up and out, just taking a moment to kind of notice how that felt for your upper body, for the core, and for the legs. We're going to do it one more time, but just take a moment's rest, and you might even let the hands have a little shakeout. Because even though the hands aren't on the floor, there's still a decent amount of pressure that you're working into the wrist. So folks with wrist issues might skip this version and look at the forearm variations of both the floor version and the chair version that are going to be available on this channel. Let's try that one more time. So facing the chair, coming into that little fig leaf forward fold. So the knees bend, the hips hinge. Hands are placed near the back or the front edge of the chair. And then you're going to walk your shoulders and feet back towards a down dog shape. You want to stay there a moment, and then I walk my feet a little bit forward as I bring my shoulders over my wrist. So I'm using my eyesight to actually verify that. I'm watching out to not go into a back bend, nor to miss the point and have the hips way up in the air. So bringing the hips in line with the shoulders and the heels, firming the elbows, lifting the breastbone, and energizing the legs. If your breath becomes ragged, that would be a good time to come out of the pose, but if you're doing okay, again, 6 to 8 breaths initially, working your way up to 12 to 14 to 16 for longer holds. And then on the exhale, swing back and then walk forward. And as you come up, go ahead and release the hands and the wrists. So that is the chair version of plank or high plank pose for you to play around with a little bit this week in your practice. See what you think about that, give it a whirl, and then look for my videos on how to release the wrists. I have some coming up in the near future that involve something called wrist flossing, so that's coming soon to this very channel. That'll do it for this week. Know that you can follow me online at my website, baxterbell.com. You can also follow me on Facebook and YouTube at the Baxter Yoga name. And also I have longer practices on the practice channel at the website Yoga U Online. Check that out sometime soon. Until the next time, thanks for joining me. Namaste.